GSL Season 3, Round of 6. 2022 Hot 6 GSL Season 3.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going on into our second best of 5 of the evening, and I'm actually very interested in seeing how this one's going to pan out. It's going to be GuMiho versus Cure. Now, both these guys really, I think, actually able to hang with Maru nowadays as far as impressive plays and kind of finding their own way and looking like a real threat. Again, I still think Maru definitely top 2 biggest threats in the tournament, but GuMiho's brought out that eccentric and very different style and made it work. And, Cure really seems to be so on top of it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's playing so well. He looks very intimidating. He's definitely got his own kind of approach to the game.
Yeah, he's been playing very aggressively in this tournament, in his TBTs as well, like very, very aggressive pushing. When they played, wasn't it 1-2? Like, GuMiho went 1-2 against Cure, if I'm recalling correctly. He did like that proxy battle cruiser play. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, on Data C.
Double battle cruiser, right?
He made more than one. Yeah, but it was one starport.
Oh, no, you're right. And then somebody else did.
And then he did double starport BC.
That's right.
And then Maru copied him.
That's right. Then Maru plagiarized.
Yeah, he did.
Strat.
So,
who do you think is going to take this?
Honestly, I think Cure is going to take it. I would love to see GuMiho advance just because I really want to see his Terran vs. Zerg more. He had some really cool ideas in that, so I'd love to see him versus DRG here tonight. I think that would be really fun. Yeah, well, actually, no, these two didn't play. I'm sorry, they were in different groups. I'm like misremembering. It must have been him versus Bunny. That's what it was. It was GuMiho versus Bunny that I'm thinking about the Battle Cruiser play. But anyways, let's see. I'm not sure what GuMiho is going to show us.
Yeah, he's going to come up with something different, no doubt. I think if this is one-sided, it's going to be a Cure win. Otherwise, I think it goes either way. Probably Game 5, either GuMiho or Cure takes it.
I pretty much agree with you on that. If it's one-sided, it's Cure.
We're going to the map Waterfall for this best of 5. GuMiho versus Cure starts now.
Storm Gaming, GuMiho. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Cure.
All right. So, GuMiho with the gas first. Not too big of a surprise here.
Yeah, Cure right now. Actually getting the gas.
They're both going double gas.
Both going double gas, okay. Thought we were going to have a deviation. So right now, the same build order directions here.
Excellent. The Hot 6s are real.
That's right.
All of you down there, while you're here, get yourself some Hot 6.
Absolutely.
Gotta try
Do
it.
they have some at the front desk? Were they giving it away? I probably should have said that.
Sometimes they do.
Sometimes they do.
But I'm not.
I'm
I
going
don't
to
know
say
about
that
right
they're
now.
going to go to the front desk. There's going to be some very stressed out person there. Like, we don't know what he's talking about. Cheers for rooting for Cure 3-0. It could happen. I think it could. I think we got to see what crazy stuff GuMiho's going to do. I think he's predictably unpredictable.
Ooh.
From Detroit, USA.
Go
One of the better airports to go out of, actually.
Can't recall it, actually. I've been through it, but it doesn't come to mind.
Yeah, welcome. Again, people coming out from all over. So happy to have you guys down here. So happy to see you in the studio.
Yeah, a lot of foreigners here today. Like, there has been each time, but, like, really a lot now.
Yeah. And I was here for the first time as a spectator in the audience for at least part of the show when I brought my dad down. And I got to try the headsets on and stuff.
Yeah? How was that?
They work pretty well.
Yeah, they do.
I think I had heard years back that we had kind of older technology or whatever that they were using for it, like walkie-talkie stuff, and it was kind of
walkie-talkies.
No, it was something on par with that. This is like way pre-pandemic, but what they're using now is pretty good. I could hear what you and State were saying pretty clearly.
Oh, okay. Well, not that it's that important. We don't really add that much.
You're not going to learn anything else in this one. Yeah.
All right, so right now, Cure is getting that command center, so is GuMiho.
And so, we're waiting to see the major deviation here in the two build orders.
Yeah, the starport for GuMiho as well as the tech lab on the factory, I think, are the two big things that we're looking at right now. And he goes ahead and goes into Cyclone immediately. So Cure has like a slightly more mobile army, as you can see, like more Reapers plus the Hellion. But as that Cyclone comes out, it's going to be pretty solid. GuMiho is.
Okay, Cure is coming in here now. By the way, Cyclone, kind of the iconic GuMiho unit.
Yeah, I would say.
This is quite a bit, though, to come in here.
It is.
Let's see if this can get a little bit snowbally. He comes in and guns down both Reapers and the Marines. And will they get the Hellion as well? He backs up, respecting the Cyclone, gets that anyways.
Yeah, that was actually a really good snipe onto the Hellion. I think that was really important. And now he basically clears everything with the Cyclone.
I was a little bit confused why he actually committed onto that Cyclone for a second there. I thought it might have been better to back up and try to find another opportunity.
Yeah.
That was odd. When I saw that happening, I thought maybe I don't understand Reaper versus Cyclone. I don't cast it that often.
Occasionally, like if you have some high health ones, like you can bounce it and like get those extra shots and everything, but I think too much damage had already been dealt there. And so GuMiho, looking at that overall, I think that GuMiho came out a little bit ahead.
Yeah, I think he's happy with that. I think the units that he lost were more expendable. And we have more Reapers that have been made here.
Yeah.
Which I actually hadn't noticed on the production tab until I saw them move out over here.
People are really loving those Reapers early game TBT right now.
To be honest, I'm still not used to seeing it. I'm kind of used to dismissing that those units would even be, used in here. But he's going to come up here now, and, once more, he can start to do a real bit of damage here. Now, he needs to watch the Cyclone, make sure that medevac does not get picked off, and it is going to get just out of range. He's killing a lot of workers here.
Yeah, he gets a decent amount with 8.
So many kills. That's 8 workers down. Okay, the medevac lives. It is going to be sent back to be repaired and then used again. But is there a possible counterattack here from GuMiho? Well, it seems like there is.
That's what I'm thinking about right now, right? Like he is 2 Cyclones against 1. He has a tank. He's about to have a Raven to equalize that other Raven, right? Or no, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's the one already with the Raven. It's Cure that's about to pop one out. But GuMiho might be able to find something here. It's a good play. I like where Cure was standing. Very nice location. But he's got to be careful here. Oh my gosh. What am I looking at?
Yeah, what is the setup
This is like
here?
I like him trying to come in from an angle. Like, that's a cool idea.
Well, the thing is, the Cyclone can shoot so far. If you get it from a weird angle, they might actually not get what's going on for a second.
Well, if you don't insta move in the right direction, you're done.
Okay. I'm kind of impressed that GuMiho's going to try to inch in.
He might just use a disable here.
I think it'd probably be worth it. You could just disable and use whatever you've got to kill it and get a really good foothold here.
GuMiho is down 11 workers, so I feel like he does need to do something.
Yeah, the second tank is going to come down. That's going to make it a lot easier to try to hold this position.
Is GuMiho... Okay, so GuMiho right now, he's going for 2 Vikings.
Yep.
He may just try a containment here. Like with double Raven, I like the idea there, sacrificing a Marine for that. But I could see him maybe like just trying to contain the ramp right here, right? Like he's going to have air control for sure with these Vikings coming down, but plus the 2 Cyclones.
A contain doesn't really mean anything if you're not ahead in a base after a little bit, right? I mean, we need to see that extra command center start. I almost feel like he's trying to set up some kind of moment to come in here. Here come the auto turrets. He's going to put these right down here. Counter auto turrets are placed.
Oh, I don't think this is working out. I think Kira's going to be totally fine. Let's see, though. Yeah, I think Kira is just completely good here. Lands his Vikings, clears everything.
It's kind of funny. It was like the end of Reservoir Dogs there. But the thing is, one side had SCVs to back it.
Did Mr. Red end up living at the end of that? I can't recall.
I can't remember. Yeah, I don't know.
Got to rewatch that one.
No, they killed each other's stuff up, but it doesn't really mean anything if one guy has all the you know, what it was like a 9-worker lead then.
Yeah, yeah, and it's still a pretty significant lead.
Dude, and a command center landing.
Oh boy. Yeah, GuMiho's position is not looking super hot. He's actually adding a second starport. Okay, now I'm really scratching my head, Tasteless, and there's a second factory. So he's definitely going into some sort of mech play. Like, it looks like it's going to be like Siege Tank Viking or something, which is good because it scales really, really well. But the fact that he does not have a third command center makes me feel like there is no chance here. Like, command centers are important because that's how you mine from bases.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Someone write that down.
Like, I mean, you can get pretty damn cost efficient with Viking Tank, which is what it really looks like he is focusing on right now. But
it feels like this is so after the fact.
Yes.
Like what he's doing now, it's like it already didn't work. He's like, well, let me try something I'm even more behind now. I think this set could end up being a pretty one-sided game from here on out. I mean, normally what happens is one guy's behind and he goes, okay, I'm going to try to expand. Oh, this is a good catch, though.
Yeah, that is a nice catch. Wow, he gets it. Very good. But right now, GuMiho's getting 2 medevacs. Now that, I have no idea what that's for.
Yeah.
I really don't.
He's going to land the Vikings and pick them up with him.
Like, is it to pick up the tanks? Like, I don't even... I am actually really confused about the 2 medevacs.
Well, I don't know if we're going to be this game for much longer, to be honest.
Yeah,
I mean, now that his tank's gone down, it's hard to emphasize how behind he is now, really. And even getting these shots kind of swiping at the Vikings. Again, a functional third base with gases being mined from. Now, he's going to pull away and try to drop in. And, you know, maybe Kier's being a little bit too nebbish on the map, and there might be some kind of a positional opening here where he just comes in and hits.
A little bit too nebbish?
Too nebbish,
what is
man.
nebbish?
It's like a little bit too unassertive. With too.
Oh.
Yeah.
A little bit too nebbish.
Nebbish, yeah. It's a good word. Thank you. Keep bringing it, man. No problem.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I think you probably made it up, but I like it.
It's it's a good word.
Huh.
I'm like, put a very nebbish counterattack over from him. Like, no, another drop comes in here. This backfires pretty horribly. Oh my God, and he overextends. That's it, GG.
I wish he had been nebbish there.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that
someone say I'm nebified. Am I right?
Yeah. Look, okay. GuMiho, like the drop that, like he held the first attack from Kier, and then Kier remade Reapers, went back in, got like 8-9 SCVs. And GuMiho tried to move with a counter, couldn't quite do it, and then like he pushed and it failed pretty spectacularly. And after that fail, like he kind of just went into more Vikings and more tanks, and that just, I have no idea what that was about. Like, I guess he knew he was behind and he needed to do something very out there, but it didn't feel like it ever had a chance.
It didn't quite feel like a pro game from GuMiho. I'm not trying to knock on him, but you know, some odd decision making.
The theory behind it's pretty weak.
Well, you're behind, and then you want to try to counterattack, and there is some sense to the counterattack because they're giving up all these Hellions and Reapers, but he was a little bit too slow. Didn't quite get in there and do the damage. And then when Kier shut that down, he has the worker lead. And then GuMiho goes back and is like, I'm going to make even more factories. While Kier already has the third base. We don't always cast games that are like that, but really that was a game that was over a while ago. It was over after that second base attack, the counterattack from GuMiho that failed.
Yes,
Kier shut it down.
That certainly. Yeah. And very weird choice what he did next, because it doesn't feel like that literally could have beaten anything. Like,
no.
Like you can name the thing you want Kier to do. It just has to be a thing that people have done before, and I think it's going to beat what GuMiho was doing.
Well, Kier just developed normally. I think the right way to play from behind is to try to expand and then play defense. So that's a little bit alarming. Also, it seems like one of the players requested a timeout.
Yeah.
And I think it was Kier, so kind of a funny player to kind of call for a few minutes break here, but we do allow for it. We will allow
Maybe he just had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
like, it totally actually could just be that.
But I'm a little worried for GuMiho now. I do feel like Kier made that look easier than I expected. It was interesting to see GuMiho's overconfidence in the counterattack. Maybe he should have tried to go in there and kill that first tank. This is that down.
Yeah, I guess this is really the problem with the Ravens, right? Is like you both have two Ravens. You kind of can't kill each other because whatever you do, he can do too, right?
Yeah, he just matches it. Like GuMiho threw his turrets down, and then obviously Kira throws his turrets down. And, you know, look, they trade each other's armies out, but you don't really care about that. If you have, like, a 20%, 15% worker lead, and you both get in a fight and all your stuff dies, the guy with the worker lead's ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
We're not splitting atoms here.
No. Yeah, so anyways, not the greatest game from GuMiho. But, you know, I think he can bring it together a bit better. Like, his first defense was good. The second defense was a little bit off. And then the attack was bad and the follow-up was bad. So, but he was already, like you said, he was already kind of dead after the failed counterattack.
Yeah.
He was in such a bad spot. It just didn't, you know. He's so teched out with nothing else going on.
We're going to go into game 2 now. On the map, Moondance, GuMiho versus Cure. Continuing on right now, Cure with a 1-0 lead.
I can do this all day. Believe me when you hear me say I can do this all day.
Psystorm Gaming, GuMiho.
And I'm hoping he has a better showing this time around. I don't want this to be a blowout.
No, I don't think anyone does except for Cure.
Dragon
And that
Phoenix
guy in the
Gaming,
audience,
Cure.
Cure 307.
That's right. He's like, yes,
I don't want this to be close at all.
kill him. So, yeah, we did have the Reaper Hellion push that came in there, and I guess I feel like maybe I should have caught on to this earlier. This has been happening this season. I thought it was an exceptional game, but it seems like it's actually more the norm. People seem to like the idea of comboing Hellions and Reapers, and doing that for another minute or two longer than what we've casted in the past.
Yeah.
And trying to come in and kind of force something. That tells me that maybe the other Terran players, oh, look, he wore the right shirt to the studio.
All right, excellent.
Well dressed. Mom and Dad, number one Cure fan.
You have to fight that other Cure fan.
That's right. Who is really the number one, though? Now, oh yeah, I forgot what I was saying.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, just that. So that tells me if we saw the Reaper Hellion stuff happen more and more, maybe that in the meta right now, there's a lot of Terrans trying to cut corners, and so
Sure.
it's rewarding players to kind of come in there and keep them honest.
Well, for quite a while, like a smaller amount of Reaper Hellion was very common as an opener in TVT for years, but it was a smaller amount. So I think like people have just gotten better in general with the timings and like controlling them. So it's like, well, I mean, if you have like a little bit more Reaper Hellion than your opponent, obviously that's good, you know. And so maybe that lends itself into those attacks and the growth of this strategy over time. But definitely Cure right now, you know, going 2 Reapers at a time. He did throw down the second Rax. He's getting a factory, although slower than GuMiho's. I'm not sure exactly how much damage he's going to be able to get done, because a second Reaper coming out, and then he's going to have his factory.
So the Reapers are going to come out now. Now, I don't think that we're going to have another game that looks like what happened in that that first game. That honestly, the last game we had probably going to be the worst game of the night and for most of the season, to be honest. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
That's pretty big that he did that much damage right there. So this is a little bit painful. He's going to stand underneath that.
Oh,
maybe?
he should have blocked it. He should have blocked the factory.
Huge mistake.
Yes.
But no, it takes a long time for a Cyclone to build anyways, so he's going to be able to get good damage.
God.
Oh, man.
What is happening here?
Well, here's the thing. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the night. Like, GuMiho's getting really good again, but he's not.
It's like that last fight was like the last moments of Reservoir Dogs, but this one's like the start of Pulp Fiction, Artosis.
Just cast everything in movies.
That's right.
But yeah, like GuMiho, he's very good and he's getting very good again, but he really is the weakest, I would say.
Yeah.
Out of the top 6, and you're kind of watching Cure just. You know, Cure has a recent GSL championship. GuMiho's is like 6 years old or something, right? So
yeah,
it's really quite different eras. And Cure is playing some very modern stuff against GuMiho's kind of own style. And I feel like he's just kind of out-controlling him and keeping that pressure on, just like we've seen from him lately. All right, good pick off there with the Cyclone. Gets another. All right. You know, you give GuMiho a Cyclone, and he's going to get some stuff done, but he is down 6 workers at the moment, which is a bit painful, right? Like, he started his command center quite a bit earlier, and actually Cures is going to finish first. So that's... When stuff like that happens, like you're opening kind of aggro, and you delay their command center so much that yours finishes first, that's a pretty big advantage, I would say.
Yeah, this is... Again, you know, we're still a ways out from the game ending, but it's just a lot of things are looking extremely strong for Cure. Cure also going to come in here now. It seems like the main may be vacant. You know, there's not even SCVs mining here yet. Oh my God, he kills 3 more.
Positionally, he's just kind of in a bad spot, and now the Hellion's going to run into the natural, right? Like, he's been trying to set this up. A couple Marines are there, so he's not going to lose more SCVs at least. Now, there's a Cyclone over here, though. So he's going to get like 2 SCVs maybe, and then the Cyclone should chase him out, not even 2. A little bit rough. And now we're getting the Siege Tank plus Raven production. So even though GuMiho has some like nice high-quality units right now that Cure doesn't have, like he has 3 Cyclones against 1, he has a Banshee against no Banshee. You know, the combination of defensive stance plus Raven plus tank is it's a hard one to break with these small amounts of units early on.
Let's see what GuMiho can find here with the Banshee coming up. And he needs some wins right now. It is Cure with kind of like last game. He had a 9-worker lead. Now, if we can ever get a shot of the bottom right, we'll see how when they go down there. But there's a base all the way in the bottom right that you could take. And one feature of this map is you get a free base way in the back. It seems like normally players don't really expand there early on. They want to take that much later in the game, but I think GuMiho's already gotten behind enough. It's like he's going to take that, you know,
I like this
get out of jail free card there to try to recover. Now, that doesn't mean that Cure can't take his own base, but, you know, if this is a map where all the bases were out in front of the Terran player, it's a lot harder to do something like that, unless you're trying to hide a base.
For sure. One thing I have to say, I really want to see GuMiho go mech, and it's not just because I like mech, but more because I don't think there's a real possibility of him outplaying Cure's bio tank. Like, if he goes Marine tank against Cure's bio tank, especially with the openers that we've seen, it seems unlikely to me that GuMiho is going to be able to pick up a victory there. Whereas he's taking this very quick third. He's already got some very good tech units. He hasn't invested into engineering bays or stim or anything. I would really like to see him go for some mech-heavy play and maybe just absorb enough Cure attacks to get into a good spot. There's a factory, there's a starport. So this is similar to the last game, but he's got a 3rd command center already on the way, so now I like it.
Yeah,
instead of dislike it, I like it.
This is a much better approach. Again, the last game, I think there was a lot of bad theory at play, but I think now that we're going into this one, it seems like GuMiho, obviously he's a good player. He's able to kind of look at what went wrong and say, all right. I'll make the right adjustments this time around. We could have another drop in here. Keep in mind, some of these SCVs are damaged, so they can be killed even quicker.
And GuMiho is in a good position. If he tries to fly in, he's going to have to turn around. The rest of the army of Cure is going to start to move out. He is way up in army supply right now. But I think if GuMiho has everything placed smartly, I think he can be okay. Well, although, to be honest, he's making a lot of Vikings right now, which are not going to be as strong yet.
Yeah, now, there's no 3rd yet, but he is going to generate this threat over here at the front. And look at this, he can just kill this right away. Now, is this going to draw some of the Cyclones away? Because then there's going to be an opening to drop in here.
It might. Okay, nice. Loses 2 of his tanks very, very quickly, but
Cyclone's
he does leave
moving.
those there. Okay, let's see if Cure messes this up. GuMiho's going to get some sick value. Okay, he snaps 1 very quickly. And in fact, he's going to get both the medevacs. So this double drop really doesn't do anything. This does a lot to equalize supply. A lot.
I think the Cure is, he's not in trouble, but he doesn't have that lead anymore. I think he might have been a little bit too confident after the way the last game went.
I like GuMiho's position now. Like, this is a tough thing to play, in my opinion, right? Like, he's playing mass Viking very, very early on in tanks. Okay, so there's still a lot of work left to do, but he's smashing these attacks. Cure needs to stop already. Kira's dropped an army supply. He was up 20 army supply, and now he's down 15. That is a huge swing.
Yeah, it seems like you're basically overextended. Is this going to seesaw back over to GuMiho in his favor? It looks like GuMiho wants to try to take advantage of the moment. He's on the move here as well. A scan will confirm for Kira that there is movement on the map.
He doesn't have the critical mass to attack. He needs to play a defensive game.
Oh,
he has to play he can't attack GuMiho. Like,
Well,
a bunch of stimmed Marines, I think, like, if you catch GuMiho and he's not perfectly in position,
yeah,
then GuMiho's army will explode because it's, like, mostly Vikings. Okay, he's starting a 4th base. He's being, like, pretty aggressive, right? Like, he's not being nebbish here with this little push.
nice, dude. You
Yeah,
got it.
dude.
You got it, dude.
Oh, man.
By the way,
Words are power tasteless.
It is. Well, I like GuMiho's position now. I really do, especially if he gets this medevac. Oh. Yeah, it looked like that missile like pushed that away really quickly.
But look, GuMiho's going to have 4 bases set up. Like, he's got a ridiculous Viking lead. He's actually making so many Vikings, I'm mildly confused about it.
Yeah, what is the deal with this many Vikings? I don't understand what they're supposed to be addressing.
Well, the thing is, Vikings actually do scale marvelously in this matchup. You can always, like, Vikings are always good, right? So, in a way, I like it, but he's giving himself no real ground force. I feel like Kira still has a slight chance of maybe getting some damage done somewhere. But GuMiho, you know what? He's on like 70 workers, the 4 base. Yeah, Kira has 4 base, but the mech army here is going to be very strong.
Fight, yeah. Yeah, this is a much more overall interesting game between these two.
We're getting into turret time, Tasteless. So mech upgrades have started, 5 turrets on the way. He's got like 14 to 18 Vikings. Now we just got to see GuMiho explode on factories, I think.
Yeah. He's continuing to roam here, and oh, I'm sorry. I thought that block at the bottom left in the red was a command center for a little bit when it was over the base.
Oh.
So he's basically trying to cover each side and make sure that there's no other bases that can be taken easily. And he's just going to go for this. I don't actually know what's over here.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he's going to really get much done with this, honestly. Like, he's killing a couple tanks. But I don't think that this planetary is actually in danger.
No, but I guess he's denying the gas, which actually that does add up over time. He can get the sensor tower. I mean, this is all pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. It's good for here, but it's not. Like, GuMiho's not in trouble. He's okay. Drops down some auto turrets.
But meanwhile, another attack over here. Man, you know, Kure really, he just seems to understand where to find that opening and kind of make it happen. The Vikings are going to come down, but again, Vikings are not really that good against a bunch of Marines on the ground. The Marines are basically better units. He's going to pick it up. Whoa.
Yeah,
so
like,
good.
He doesn't need a cloud of Vikings this big. All you need for Vikings, really, is more than your opponent. And he's got like 1,000,000 times more than his opponent. So, like, I feel like he could have a slightly better ground army here to defend.
Look at this. He's just going to run back here now. Oh!
And look, he just doesn't have that many units on the ground. He's fighting with SCVs against Stim Marines with 2-2.
The problem is that GuMiho is actually absorbing a lot of damage. I did not think it was possible for Kure to get into a position like this, but he just knew how to kind of outmaneuver him.
Yeah, GuMiho's not dead. 2-2 gets started, producing 3 tanks at a time. GuMiho can rebuild this all.
GuMiho almost looks in shock by what's happening in this game. So, I mean, he is going to be able to reclaim this. The problem is that back at home for Kure, there's going to be another army being mustered here. You know,
that's a lot of tanks.
A lot, man.
I think he needs to spread his tanks a little bit better, throw down some sensor towers. Like, I mean, if you're going to play this type of game where you're just making tanks and Vikings, get your sensor towers down. Like, why am I watching Kure pick off tanks left and right when there's like there's 12 tanks right now? You can spread those a little bit better, I think, you know? No sensor tower. He has no idea that this drop is coming in right now. That's a huge drop. That's going to be a pain to clear. He's going to get the armory,
drop over
oh
here.
My God.
Dude, this is insane. I actually think this game's almost over. GuMiho's going to go for another counterattack.
I don't think the base trade is the right move.
Well, it's just hard to imagine just tanks
Yeah.
winning a base trade, right?
It'll get whittled down eventually.
Infantry is better if they can run away from the tanks when they're going to lose fights. That's what we have here. He's going to back down.
Yeah, look at this. Kier, I think Kier is... Like, GuMiho's bringing some cool ideas, and I want to see them work, but I think that Kier is just showing fundamentally much better play.
I think Kier has a much more modern play, and like GuMiho's good at what he's trying to do, but it doesn't really matter because Kier is one of the greatest Terrans in the world, and he's going to play proper and win.
Yeah.
And GuMiho is definitely a champion from an era that he was able to kind of reinvent Terran, but it doesn't seem like it's happening here in this game.
It's like he went too heavy on the Vikings too quickly.
Yeah.
If he had focused a little bit, like he could have done the same. Like, what the Vikings have done, he only needed like 6 for it, and he made this game
12.
like I think so far this game he's made like 25 Vikings.
GG. Oh, GuMiho looking very stressed out here, having a rough run here, man. I feel like a 3-0 is probably where the series is going.
Yeah, it does look that way at this point.
I'd say a pretty bad game 1, honestly, from GuMiho. And then game 2, it's like, we've seen that style used in the past, okay? But it just feels like the way that players like Kier play now, where they're very active, they know, depending on whatever the unit sets are on each side, and you can have a lot of different types of units together, a lot of different combinations of TVT. Kier just kind of knows how to deal with it, and you're kind of seeing why people play more like Kier now and a lot less like GuMiho in this best of 5.
Well, Kier just kind of outdid him. GuMiho was not quite positionally there, didn't quite have the right mech army.
Right.
Lots of Vikings, not a lot of sensor towers, didn't see the attack coming into his natural, and from there it just became very hard. It's too bad because I think his actual opener was good this game. Yeah,
but it's where he brought the game from there,
Yeah.
where it's like, well, you gave yourself the opportunity and then you took it back away from yourself by trying to go for that many Vikings. Data C, guys, let's hope this isn't the last map, because if it is, it means the Kier 3-0'd GuMiho. Let's go.
I can do this all day. Believe me when you hear me say I can do this all day.
Storm Gaming, GuMiho.
Oh, Artosis.
All right. All right.
I get it. I get it.
Didn't he proxy on this map last time? Or was it just the starport? I'm trying to remember.
I'm not sure.
All right, well, forward barracks.
Any more hard questions for me? Name all the countries in Europe right now. I'm like, Artosis, just don't put me on the spot here. I'm not sure.
Tasteless. Don't you recall which year it was that GuMiho won his GSL title?
I'm like, I gotta go, guys. I gotta go. I can't hear you. My headset's broken. No, I mean, this is...
I'll give you an easy one. What's Nest's middle name?
GuMiho support in the audience. He needs it now more than ever. Oh.
He won't see it.
He doesn't see it.
No, goes right by.
What a blind spot there. So, the thing, though, is setting an SCV out like this, you're going to see that there's no barracks in the main.
True. And they're both making Reapers, so this Reaper is not really going to get anything done, I think.
Yeah, the rush is not that good.
No. They're both getting their factories now. This SCV gonna get out of there. He might just go for the proxy starport again, right? Like he went proxy Banshee into Battlecruiser from
Well, I think he's going to have to try to make something work here. If you can't get anything done with the first Reaper, it's pretty bad, man. And all that Kier has to do is match what GuMiho is going to go for.
Yeah. Like seeing the factory timing and stuff, I think he has a very good idea of what's going on. So I'm not really worried about Kier's position here, but I do wonder what GuMiho's next phase of this proxy barracks is. So Reaper comes home to kill off the SCV, which I'm totally fine with. And they both go command center. Okay. Well, okay, we're just in a position now, like the only real difference we have here is the fact that the barracks is out on the map, right? So like he can still make Reapers out of it, and in fact he is, but it'll take a while for their racks to get home to do things like build reactors, tech labs, things like that, right? So that's like, you know, a little disadvantage in that way, I would say.
So the Reapers can come up here and maybe try to do some damage. But, you know, I kind of thought it was going to be the other way around, that we're going to see GuMiho do this to Cure, but he's going to have to back up. He isn't able to try to stalk the Reaper in a way where he could just do damage, moving shot it, and kill it.
Quite. Cyclones on both sides. Wait, GuMiho's making a second factory as opposed to a starport. Well, that's okay. That's something new.
Well, it's a very GuMiho-esque move. The problem is it seems like GuMiho ideas aren't working so far in the series. He's always trying to play an alternative style. But yeah, I mean, let's see what happens.
There's no such thing as failure tasteless. There's just another way that didn't work.
Yeah. Well, in the GSL format, there is a way to fail, unfortunately. But like you're right, Artosis. That's why every player gets a championship trophy when we're done, because this really doesn't matter. Yeah.
Even I have one of those championship
That's right. Yeah.
trophies.
We all get one. Everybody. Camera guy gets one.
Oh man,
well,
losing
he's
a cyclone.
upgrading. Yeah, he's trying to power up with cyclones, but he
Okay,
lost one.
Well, that did draw everything to the side, outside, and his Reapers did a little bit. But yeah, to lose a cyclone when you're like literally upgrading cyclones right now is a little bit painful.
So, not a good sign.
Gonna lose that barracks, unfortunately, as well. Magfield about halfway done.
But I think that Cure's pretty well positioned now. And Magfield's going to take a little bit to get here. On the other hand, Cure, again, very standard development. Getting a tank.
Okay.
Medevac going to be coming out. Now, it may be unwise, you know, when you have a bunch of Cyclones in the opponent's base to come out and do this. He doesn't know what's coming yet, but...
He killed one, so he's probably like, okay, you might have one, you might have
it's
two.
actually a good point, Artos. He killed one and thought, well, probably he won't have Cyclones now.
Yeah,
but
GuMiho's
he's
been
going to see
making
this
multiples,
now.
but certainly not off multiple factories.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Great job. Gets one. Can he lock onto another one? Tank over here drives him back, but the medevac is going to unload. And the Cyclones are pretty far away from home.
Okay, he does have other ones popping out. Magfield almost done. Not quite there. Nice SCV block there to keep that Cyclone going. Okay, now we do have the upgrade.
Dude, he
Look at
needs
this.
to run
5
back
Cyclones,
home.
man. This is legit.
Yeah.
Look at this. Like, this is 5 Magfield Cyclones, plus he's about to have a Liberator, which is kind of a funny unit to put with that.
Again, alternative comps here from GuMiho.
Yeah, like, you don't really see these things this early. It's like, okay, 5 Cyclones with 6 now with upgrades. Where is that Liberator?
Okay, so I want to see if he can actually get some stuff done here as this comes up. Tank's a little bit tricky to deal with if you keep them at that range, you know. He uses the Reaper to try to bait out a shot. Meanwhile, it's going to be an auto turret harass down here. Oh, gets that Raven. Nicely done.
Excellent kill, yeah. The auto turret, though, actually does some pretty darn good damage. 3 SCVs.
SCV count, though, overall pretty even, 42 to 44. Liberator going to come around now. And he's going to try to combo this, or I guess just harass in here. I'm not sure what exactly the plan is. I feel like I've never really talked about Cyclone Liberator being used together.
Well, because we haven't really seen it.
Yeah.
Okay, Siege is up, and he'll deny some mining with it. Kind of funny to see Cloaked Banshees being made here from Cure. Because obviously the Cyclones, if they get the scan and the lock-on, that Banshee is going to evaporate. Have you ever thrown a cup of water into a volcano tasteless?
Oh, yeah, no, and
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. That's what's going to happen to the Banshee if the Cyclones get it.
Now, honestly, I'm kind of fascinated by what GuMiho's doing here, and it seems like it's sort of working. That being said, I don't feel like Cure's been punished. So maybe when I say sort of working, it's almost like I'm kind of... ooh. Oh, hold on. Now, here's that Banshee. There's the cup of water in the volcano.
Oh, just steam.
He's going to kill off a couple SCVs up here.
Yeah, this is annoying. He doesn't have anything at home right now. He's roaming with his entire army.
Now
so the Banshee's getting pretty serious damage.
There's actually more tanks in the game right now for GuMiho than for Cure. Oh, I don't know about this.
Well, he busts a little bit. The Banshee's still doing some work. Oh, you got to micro these? Okay, yeah, the Cyclone. Once again, another cup of water in the volcano. How many do you need to stop a volcano? I don't think it can be done.
By the way, Stim is so far out. I thought Stim would have been done already from Cure. I thought this was upgraded a while ago.
Yeah, he kind of powered up heavily with tanks, didn't he?
3 base super fast here.
Okay, look at this. I mean, he's pushing this back. Not bad. He's going to GuMiho loses a tank there, unfortunately. GuMiho's definitely putting up a good fight this game, Tasteless.
This command center's been done. There's no SCVs mining. That's bad. That's very bad, man.
Yeah.
GuMiho should have had workers there a while ago. So even though I think he's like ahead, especially from Cure's perspective, you know, this is also a race against yourself here. Try to make sure you do everything you need to do. It looks like he's just now had SCVs transferred over there.
You know, rotating around right now. Like his army is pretty dangerous. Oh, he's looking for a lock on. Okay, there you go. And gonna blow up that tank in a matter of seconds. Really nice move there from GuMiho.
Beautifully done. Looks like GuMiho's going to try to loop back around here, looking for another opportunity. And Stim Rain comes forward to try to see if there's anything he can find.
He's going after the command center. Look at how much damage they do. It's so silly. Oh my
that's so funny.
God. Magfield is so hilarious.
That is wild, man.
I love that he lifted up. He's like, God, I got to get this away
Well,
from
there was
that.
just
And the Vikings helped them.
this pause where you see him not lift, and he's like, what? And then lifts it up, and he's like, oh, I gotta move this thing right now.
Yeah. Dude, GuMiho slapping him down.
Yeah.
Maybe this is what GuMiho meant to do in the previous games. Well, we didn't see him go double factory Magfield, so definitely a little bit different strategy from him. Much more factory heavy, much less starport heavy.
I think this is much more likely to actually be a GuMiho victory here. I mean, he's really making it work. He's really killing it here.
Yeah. Getting some nice picks there. Just picking off a little bit of bio. Trying to deny this command center. Utilize that Viking range. Getting him that extra vision. Dude, wrecking.
This is
wrecking.
Crazy. I mean,
Cure's dead, man.
Cure
He's
might
on
need to like
50
leave the game,
supply.
man. I mean, she just doesn't have that much right now.
Look at this.
It's great to see GuMiho recover here.
Yeah. Well, this is a great game and a completely different strat than anything we've seen. GuMiho's showing he's still got it.
GG. He taps out.
Wow.
GuMiho's taking his first game.
Dude, that was very one-sided for GuMiho, right? We had a couple games where it was one-sided for Kira, and we were kind of looking down and being like, oh, GuMiho, you're just not doing it. But this one, completely the other direction. Like, he really destroyed Kira there.
And absolutely totally original.
Yes.
Magfield sniping command centers.
Awesome.
It's funny, too, because you could see Kira didn't even really realize what was about to happen until it was too late.
It's almost unbelievable.
Kind of a funny moment there.
You're like, did you know your command center can die so quickly here?
Yeah, he's like repairs it, then he's like, what? Then he lifts it up.
Like, hey, you know when people blink 17 DTs on your command, you're like, how did that die so fast?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about to happen right now in a TVT.
Yeah, in a ranged attack. Now, we're going to go into game 4 here. Again, I do feel like Kira still played pretty strong, but I think that style was weird enough that Kira sort of didn't even really realize what the threats were until they revealed themselves to him.
I think that's a perfect analysis. Like, he wasn't. And, like, everything he did to try to harass just totally didn't work. And he's like, wow, I mean, that's a lot of Cyclones.
We are going now into game number 4 on Inside and Out.
I can do this all day. Believe me when you hear me say I can do this all day. It's not what I cannot say. I can do this.
Psystorm Gaming, GuMiho.
GuMiho.
GuMiho,
dude.
Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Cure.
I'm hoping we have 5 games for all the games today.
Yeah, that would be. I would love to see GuMiho push Kira to his limits here. Hell, like I said, I actually want GuMiho to win. Like, I would love to see GuMiho just keep going.
Well, that would be like a really interesting Dark Horse story of him just kind of slowly moving up the ranks and everything.
I really enjoy his Terran Berserk. I'd love to see him against DRG here today. That would be really, really fun. Not that I dislike Kira's play. Like, Kira's is a fun Terran as well, but I mean, GuMiho's style, you watch this stuff and it's like, well, this is just so fresh. How can you not enjoy this? Truly.
So he's got an SCV coming out on the map. Kier does first.
You know what?
Yeah.
GuMiho is my Beyond. That's what it is. You know how like people just love Beyond?
Oh, sure.
They love him, his style, the way he acts.
But then what is Beyond for you?
I like Beyond,
He's
but
your,
like
he's your Kier. Like,
he's too well. Yeah, he's my he's too micro based for my real flavor, right? Like
Okay.
I like him. I like him as a person, as a player and stuff, but still strong independent GSL champion. You better believe it.
It's true. So for now, the builds are pretty much the same.
But what I'm trying to say, Tases, is it's an almost irrational like of GuMiho. You know, just like.
Well, he's doing stuff that's so different that, I mean, like, he's doing strategies it did not even occur to me could work.
Well, the second factory before a starport is so far out there.
Yeah, it almost looks like it's a mistake.
Yeah.
Like they made the wrong building.
Yeah.
Now, you know, in this game, I would be surprised if we see double factory again, or cyclones like that again, or something weird like that. It seems like GuMiho wants to come in here with a novel approach each time, and that's why I still kind of favor Kier here. I think Kier just looks more sturdy.
Yeah, for sure.
And I do think Kier had, for a lot of that game, no idea what is going on because it was so confusing.
Oh, double tech lab right now for GuMiho. Okay, so this is very, very different. I'm going to guess concussive shells, but he might go quick stim. That would be really fascinating if he switches over to quick stim here.
Yeah, I wonder.
And there's a starport. Okay. He's just using it for the starport. Okay, okay.
So the Cyclone's coming along now for GuMiho. Now, he always likes to make 1 or 2 Cyclones. But the thing is, everybody for a while in the game made 1 to 2 Cyclones, and they kind of used it as this defensive catch-all unit because it's a pretty easy unit to use, to be honest. You can see it's easy to get stuff and track it and
it's good at punishing like any flying units that come in.
Any flying unit that overextended, you can kind of use it as a.
It's like a ground raven.
Swiss Army knife, yeah, to deal with anything that's air-based, where the Raven is kind of this great.
Terran is a very funny race like that in StarCraft 2, where
Yeah.
they have all these units that are like, well, one to 3 of these are really good early game. It's like the Reaper, the Cyclone, the Raven. All the Ravens, I mean, are always good, but like very technical, weird early game units that are very, very good.
But yeah, the funny thing with GuMiho is he would have these games where occasionally he'd keep making Cyclones. And you know, I kind of thought that we couldn't keep seeing this, but then he does it again in this game, and I go, all right. Well, there you go.
Second racks for GuMiho. So it does look like we're going to have a bio-based play out of him, like bio-tank. He's going for a tank and a Banshee right now. The Banshee is actually going to really help against this army. There's only 4 Marines that can shoot up.
Okay, he's going to come in here now.
Oh, I don't think GuMiho's going to take any damage from this.
No, I think GuMiho's in great shape right now.
Oh, it doesn't quite get the kills there, but that's all right.
Oh, man, he's
comes
unloading
the
now,
Banshee.
but the Banshee's here.
Yeah, with the Banshee there, man, there's just not a lot to do. He's trying to target down some of these units, but the Banshee the DPS is so high, he just has to get out of there. So that was a very good trade for Gumi.
Totally destroyed that.
Yeah, he did. Very, very solid.
Kier bounced off that army like he was a ping pong ball. It's going right back home. And so Stim starts back here at home. And, you know, funnily enough, it seems like GuMiho, he had kind of his cool openings, but it seems to be more of a normal game. And he's going to instant punish by taking a 3rd base. I really like that. I think it's a smart move.
Well, you know what's kind of cool here, too? Is, like, he's going into, like, a very standard Marine tank game, it looks like. But his defense there was so strong because he had the Banshee, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of these early pressures that we're seeing, a defensive Banshee, of course, is going to do fantastically against it. It's just you never see defensive Banshees, you know? Only in the strangest games.
Yeah.
Like Maru holding on to that TBT, where like everything's in his base. Like, yeah, okay, well, you get this to defend, but like to just make one and sit it at home because you know they're going to come in with like units that don't shoot up. Very cool stuff from GuMiho.
That 3rd CC is almost done. Yeah. There's a 3rd CC finishing for Kier as well, but it's not going to be landed just yet. And yeah, I like the kind of Banshee as a deterrent here.
That is cool. Because normally the Banshees, you're like, well, they 2-shot SCVs, so we send them across the map.
Right.
GuMiho's like, yeah, they two-shot Marines.
Oh, he's going to drop in here now. Do we have anything to defend?
Ooh, not really right now. He's going to bring back some more units. Marines popping out. This is a great scout for Kier as well. He sees that it's actually a Marine tank.
Yeah, so he knows it's not going to be a weird style. Now, I think this is a better way to play, but I also think that Kier is better against this kind of style. It's kind of a weird thing to say,
Yes.
but you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
like I like what GuMiho is doing, even though I think it's really fun to see his kind of more crazy stuff. I don't think you could ever really, in this day and age, just play weird and come out on top in TVT. So it's cool to see him doing this, but we got to see how strong is he actually at doing it.
Oh, the snipe. Very nicely done by GuMiho there. He is slightly up in workers. Well, just one, so it's not really that big a deal.
Yeah.
But his army looking strong as well. GuMiho is 1-1, well ahead. The eBays are not even done yet, so he's like going to be halfway done by the time 1-1 starts for Kier. I feel like there's a lot of advantages in this game for GuMiho. Does he have any Ravens, though? I don't think he does, right?
Well, yeah, he was a little bit more focused on the Banshees earlier on.
Yeah.
And again, I think this game, you know, it's fairly even. He is going to get an armory, GuMiho is, I should say.
1-1 and combat shields are coming very quickly here. 1-1 just starting for Kier.
Yeah,
Kier definitely has to sit in a very defensive formation.
Kier probably can't do a whole lot for a little bit here, especially being down on the 1-1 upgrades. I mean, Marines already deal damage so fast, and other Marines die so fast to them, especially when they're down in upgrades.
Yeah, GuMiho just a little bit of roaming right now. Kier moving into a defensive position in front of his natural since he saw the army on that side, but GuMiho is just looping around a little bit. Nice little pick off. Cyclone's being very, very active.
Another scan over here.
Oh, look at that. He tries to kill the sensor tower. I like that.
Yeah, just get what you can, take what you can get, right? He does repair it, he does save it,
Yeah.
but kind of a nice little tactic to come in there like that. Nobody's on a fourth base just yet. I do think positionally GuMiho is definitely more comfortable. He's got an army that's very liquid moving on the map. Actually, I'm sorry, there is a fourth base being taken here. I think that might have just started though.
Yeah,
For
I think you're
GuMiho. But yeah, I mean, Kier is having an uphill fight for sure.
Yeah, but we've really switched positions here. And I think Kier is actually handling it pretty well. He's up in tanks and he's up in Vikings, so he does have that kind of like long-term potential right now. Even though his Marine upgrades are pretty far behind and he doesn't really have any map control, he is giving himself tools where he can fight back.
And some patience shown here by GuMiho as well. I think what is the right play to just expand again, not to overextend.
Yeah.
One thing for sure, though, with Kier is that he has a higher tank count, and that can be a bigger factor later on. You can see now 1-1 is about to finish here for Kier. I don't know if he wants to move out on the map now, but you can if you're both even with 1-1 upgrades.
Sure.
It's not a bad idea to try to come out. GuMiho may try to set up a counterattack here, and you can see how good he is with these Cyclones. He just knows how to kind of maneuver them in a way where it's just hard to deal with.
He's got like gecko eyes for his Cyclones. Not for like drops in his base, but for his Cyclones specifically.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, he's going to head back now.
Yeah, the second factory did finish up here for GuMiho, so he can start catch up in tanks a little bit, but there is a second factory now coming up for Kier as well. Wants to make sure he's maintaining that advantage. And look at this! Look at this! GuMiho adding 2 starports right now. I feel like GuMiho is just a step ahead this entire game so far. Like, I really like this timing of these 2 starports. He's going to start to build his own Viking count. Like, the thing is, he is going to have to get into a little bit of a defensive stance, I think, right? Like, he's maxed out. And he is about to have 2-2, so, yeah, maybe he can come out and, like, fight this or do a counterattack. But going to the starports, like, if you're actually going to commit into that is a transition, right? So you have to be a little bit careful if your opponent tries to attack you during it.
Okay, another attack in here. Nicely done. Takes out that tank. Oh, my God. Okay, he's going to take that out with siege mode here. Seems like the Marines had a hard time actually reaching that. But he's not really pushed into a vulnerable spot yet. I think GuMiho's still okay for the time being. Another disable and another stim comes in.
Yeah, auto turret goes down. Does stim an attack from the high ground there, and of course his 2-2 Marines are very fearsome.
So much from GuMiho chasing him right now. He barely escapes there. That is crazy.
I tell you, GuMiho is showing like a lot of skill here after a couple clean openings in these last 2 games. First two
Yeah.
games felt pretty bungled and pretty one-sided, but
to be honest,
he's playing very good straight up right now.
It was pretty painful, you know, a pretty painful game 1 and game 2 for GuMiho. I'd kind of written him off, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
Now, keep in mind, GuMiho has been on an extra base for a long time. It's now taking a bit.
Oh, wow. That's quite the dive. I'm not sure if that's going to pay off or not. It does get an armor shred onto those Marines. He actually picks off a good amount of tanks.
Dude.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think that was good.
GuMiho's supply is so much lower now as far as army goes.
Yeah,
I kind of can't believe this. By the way, vehicle weapons +1 finishes. Does he have a disable available?
I'm not sure if he does right now, but the thing is, GuMiho added starports, right? Like he's throwing down some Thors, he's making some Vikings and everything, getting Corvid reactor, all this. So yeah, he lost like a lot of Marines there. But like, unless Cure like instantly overwhelms him, I think that GuMiho is still totally fine here. Dude, that looks so painful.
Looks brutal, man.
Just ragdolling from this tank shot.
Well, I'm almost in disbelief as to what Cure did back there. Functioning off of a lot less, kind of came in and just won the exchange itself so much more.
Well, it was such a dive uphill.
Yeah, it was such an overextension from GuMiho here.
He wanted tanks so bad. Now, a couple of Thors are out.
And by the way, the tank count is far superior for Cure still here. So I think Cure's been playing, you know, up against the ropes pretty well this whole time.
Well, I think it feels to me like what GuMiho is going to try to do now is take complete air control. Like, their supplies are high enough. Yeah, look at this. He's building turret, sensor tower, siege tank through the center. And he does have a couple Ravens. We don't see what he's producing right this second, but Thor plus Viking plus Raven is going to allow you to fight back against someone with a vastly superior Viking count, right? Like,
right.
Not necessarily just straight win it, but he's building up to a place where he might be able to like take that air dominance, which is so important in late game Terran versus Terran.
Well, GuMiho sits on his advantage, you know, economically for, you know, a while now. Cure is slowly playing catch up here. We should have kind of a diagonal split on this map of who gets what. It does seem like he wants to try to put a little bit of pressure over there, but overall, I think Cure could run back and basically come in here and try to clean that up. But I'm really waiting for the next big engagement to see how GuMiho does, because I think GuMiho kind of had all the building blocks set up that he needed to play a game and come out ahead, and then he had such a poor engage that Cure suddenly really looked quite viable in this. And we're going to see a big engage come up here now.
Ooh,
oh,
yeah.
Hold on. He's going to turn around again, I guess.
Okay, he sees that smaller army from Cure going down the side, and GuMiho looks like he wants to try to hit in here, but no, he turns around.
By the way, we're going to run out of bases to take here.
Yeah.
Each side basically has one more base to take.
There's a little attack in the bottom right, as well as this little run by. Yeah, it's planetary, so it doesn't matter all that much. It's going to be annoying to drop a couple behind. It'll get clean, but oh, yeah, just no hold position there. 83 SCVs for both, 11 tanks for both. Okay. 53 Marines against 27 Marines. GuMiho in the lead there, which is not necessarily actually a good thing. We'll see what he actually gets done with it. But his Raven count is very strong. He's disabling a lot of siege tanks as he moves up here with his superior Marine count.
He's coming up now. The Vikings are going to be landed, and he has to pull back.
Dude,
You're in a lot of hot water here.
The Vikings just got super butchered right there.
Yeah, that was
my
crazy.
God. Between the Thor and the siege tanks when they landed, suddenly that Viking count that was so good the entire game for Cure has been reduced to almost nothing.
And GuMiho's going to keep trying to march forward here. His siege up, and he's basically going to be able to isolate the space on the center right. With so many tanks coming forward, there's not a whole lot Cure can do. I'm not sure if Cure has much more time in this game. Look at these tanks. This is wild.
Dude, GuMiho is really outdoing Cure right now.
This is so crazy.
This is amazing.
GuMiho is probably going to win here, and maybe he comes back 3-0 after being down 0-2.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Especially after how rough those first couple games were.
Oh, I know.
And like this, the thing is, this, like he stomped the first little attack, and then he just played very well from slightly ahead, I think, throughout the game.
It's almost like confusing as to why GuMiho even does some of these weird styles more often than he does the standard styles when you see this happen.
To be fair, that Banshee he made early on, that was weird. That defensive Banshee.
That's true.
it was not like crazy weird like the game before, but it was strange. Now a little stim in here. Armor Shred comes down and there are enough tanks, so GuMiho backs up. GuMiho still maxed out, tons of bases for him here. Gonna eventually deny that base that he is shelling. And Kira deciding to go for a little bit of a counterattack. Can't blame him there, that's for sure. More tanks sieging. Oh, the disables come down. Going to stim forward and be able to take these out very easily.
Yeah, I mean, Kira is all but dead here. This is kind of crazy. Well, I mean, GuMiho, he took his time, but he got here. And we're going to have a game 5. I'm so glad, man. So far,
what a fantastic night of games so far.
Round of 6 has just been these nail biters. And, you know, guys, very rarely is somebody down 0-2 and then comes back and wins 3 games and recovers. Now, Kira is not going to give up yet. He's going to try to circumvent the bad position he's in and look for opportunities of his own down here. The greatest armor shred of all time.
Oh, my God, and a ring of auto turrets around it. Kira is actually getting sandwiched as well. Down goes the tank, down goes just about everything, and GG is called. Game 5 coming up.
Let's do this.
Dude, awesome.
Man.
This is sick.
That was wild.
GuMiho is playing so much better these last 2 games.
It looks like a completely different player.
You know what? He must be frustrated because in his head, I'm sure he knows that he can play the 2 games he just played, but those first 2 games were so one-sided, didn't feel like he had a shot, you know?
Well, when you have really bad games like that, it sticks with you in the next couple of games, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of.
And if he ends up losing here, it's like, oh, damn, imagine if he had played a bit better in those first 2 games. Maybe he would have won by now, right?
Man, Kira, though, feeling the stress here.
Yeah.
It's got to be weird. Like, what happened to GuMiho in the last 4 games?
Turned it on.
Yeah, I thought I was already, you know, going to be playing against my next match here. All right, guys, well, this is it. It's going to be on Cosmic Sapphire for map number 5. And that's where the best of 5 ends. Either GuMiho wins or Kira takes it and recovers. I'm happy with either one, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. Well, this has been so great so far. One of these guys is going to give a big fight towards DRG coming up after this. But let's see who it's going to be.
All right, guys. Cosmic Sapphire, Game 5. Let's go.
I can do this all day. Believe me when you hear me say I can do this all day.
Storm Gaming, GuMiho. Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Cure.
I can't believe we're at Game 5 after the way Game 1 looked. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so happy about it, though.
And you know what? What's exciting about Game 4 specifically is that it was GuMiho actually playing properly.
Yeah.
And not just him. I mean, the double factory and all the cyclones coming out, that's cool. And that's, you know, nobody else in the whole world can really do that kind of stuff consistently as consistently as GuMiho.
Not at this level, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely not at this level. But to see him also just play normal, it's like, oh yeah, you really actually have a bigger range than a lot of people. It's not just that you have your own play. You know what the other, because sometimes you'll see these people who have like a weird way of playing the game, and part of the reason why they're playing that is they want to avoid having to learn the same stuff as other players, and instead kind of zero in on this other approach that really makes the other player play by a different set of rules.
Yes.
And because you're such an expert at this kind of bizarre approach to the game, you have an inherent advantage.
Yes.
And I kind of thought, at least, you know, with the, you know, this season of GSL, GuMiho was kind of that player, but at the highest level. But now that I look at it, I go, no, man, he's actually
that was solid,
pretty solid,
right?
Yeah,
it was good. It was good. Like it honestly did feel to me like he was a little step ahead the entire way. I think he had the one questionable attack uphill against the tanks, but I still felt like he was okay after that, even though he lost a lot of the Marines. Because he was like kind of doing a transition. He had a good siege line and everything behind. But yeah, this has been fantastic. Okay, so Cure getting his command center. GuMiho just slightly after. Does have his starport on the way here as well. I'm a little bit wiggly tasteless. I'm excited to see what is going to happen here.
I mean, this has been such a different TVT so far, right? I mean, we're getting kind of the solid play here from Cure. Even, by the way, in Game 4, he was behind for a little bit. It almost seemed like he was going to come ahead there. But then we have, you know, the real range of GuMiho and the fact that he just sees this race in a totally different way. By the way, Cure, it's a throwback to Game 1. He wants to come in here again, try to put on the pressure. I think he's looking at what worked and what didn't work and saying, well, at least I might be able to get, you know, my footing set up right here if I can do this. The double Hellion quad Reaper push.
Well, a Cyclone and a Banshee are coming. Does he have enough to slow this down enough that those units will pop out before he loses massive amounts of units? Okay, he throws a grenade, but Cure is diving super hard right now.
The grenade
he turns around. He actually zaps a couple Hellion or a couple of Reapers with that one shot. He's about to get the Banshee out. Let's see how many SCVs actually end up dying here. Because, like, obviously Gumiho's units are way better here, but does that matter?
Okay, he's killed off 6 SCVs.
Yeah, kind of significant.
Oh, he's gonna get that last one.
Okay, that was, I think that was pretty good from Cure overall.
I like that a lot. I think that he had the right idea there. Because look, it's what? It's 21 workers to 29. That command center is only just now going to finish. Whereas Terran's already getting SCVs out in pairs.
It's a little tough, isn't it? Like he was getting these great defensive units, but the attack was just a little bit too quick for him. All right, good defense there.
Yeah. Now what could the Banshee do exactly?
Well, I mean, you gotta scan to get it. The Marines are not gonna do that. They're just like trying to make it run away and not get full damage.
He's not killing SCVs.
No, not too much. I feel like
he's got a bunch of orange SCVs. Like this is a Halloween-themed cast here.
Well, we are in October now.
Now, yeah, not able to kind of gain any ground. That 9-worker lead continues on here with Cure in great shape. The Banshee comes out. Now, Banshee with Cloak is done. Keep in mind, if you get Cloak for the Banshees, you really do need to kill some stuff to kind of make it pay for itself. You can't really get these dramatic upgrades, and then if they don't do anything, you're like, oh, okay. You know, I'm sure that'll come in handy later. You really have to, you know, shortly after you get it, you got to do something.
Oh, that auto turret was sick.
You know, one of the things about winning the first 2 games and then losing the next 2 is you've got to...
What? This craziest thing I've ever seen.
Dude.
GuMiho! GuMiho!
Well,
oh, he lost it.
That was
crazy
sick, for a little bit.
What a micro battle that was. My God. Okay, by the way, like,
I think Cure's coming out ahead here.
He's getting Magfield. Oh my God, he's getting Hyperflight Rotors. Are you kidding me, GuMiho? You're the craziest player in the whole world. Unfortunately, he's lost some Banshees and Cyclones.
Yeah.
But he's literally going for Speed Cloak Banshees and Magfield. Like, what is this even?
This is some Inspector Gadget stuff.
This is some Inspector Gadget stuff. Like, I don't. What else is there?
I feel like
this
is the start of a James Bond film where like Q gives like James Bond all these like different tools that he's going to have to use to eventually win the mission, and this time it's these upgrades.
But it's Q from Star Trek this time.
Yeah.
Okay, he just flipped it over. The scan came, and he canceled the Hyperflight Rotors. That's too bad.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that really badly.
I think he saw that it was sawed and then thought, okay, I got to change it up here. Again, with what Cure's doing, it's much more standard and solid for that matter. Where I think GuMiho is going to try to look for finesse through a win. I think Cure is trying to play a proper game here.
Yeah.
But, you know, he got that cloak. Those Banshees haven't gotten that much. Stim is on the way here. Barracks are producing at a rapid rate.
Now, the Banshees still do have value. With the Hyperflight Rotors, they would have had more, but they still have some value. They still have good DPS. That's nice. But right now, GuMiho is just going into, like, regular mech. Like, additional factories have been added, but he hasn't gone overboard with starports, which is nice. Look at this funny army that he's running around with. Like, Cure sees it, he's like, no, I don't want to fight that. GuMiho is down like a few SCVs. He has his third base on location right now. So a little bit ahead of Cure. Cure is landing it, like he's bringing it down. That's cute. He wants to kill another command center. Look at how much damage it does, it's so silly.
He is going to come in here and set up this third. Can't really be contested right now from GuMiho.
Cure getting into stim as well as 1-1. And yeah, let's see how GuMiho like continues this. Is he going to really focus on siege tank production? Is he going to stay a little bit more active on the map?
Now GuMiho may end up paying for this because, you know, there is a more standard solid army that you want to try to go for here, and that's kind of, I guess, proper play what Cure's doing here, but he's leaning into that kind of mech style here with the double tanks coming out.
Dude, look at that.
Double armory.
Yeah. Very interesting position for a couple of his tanks. That looks like a position where you're looking for a free volley. Like you really think they're going to go by there, and you get like this sick free volley, and then maybe you back up. See? Chameleon eyes for Cyclones only. Imagine if he had that for drops, man. He would never lose.
Oh, and he's going to try to come in here now. He does get that Banshee and almost gets the second. Does get the second. That was beautifully done.
Yeah, yeah. Like he lost some of the Banshees, but they're not as good now.
But it's fine to lose the Marines for that. It's totally worth it.
Oh, that's funny. We're talking about different people right now. I'm talking about from GuMiho's point of view, and you're talking about yours.
Yeah.
Like, no, he lost Banshees, not Marines. But no, just slowing down that like initial harassment is pretty nice. Now, a Fusion Core is coming up. Wait a minute. Fusion Core here for Cure.
Interesting.
Okay. You know what he's going to do? I know exactly what he's going to do, Tasis. He wants to win the Viking count and use Liberator range to push the tanks back, I think.
Oh, that is a good call.
That's my guess here.
Well, let's see if it's the direction he wants us to go, because, yeah, you could win that fight, and suddenly it's like the Liberators are like siege tanks of the sky. You know?
Yeah.
Especially if you kept all your tanks alive.
And, like, if he does start to do that, you'll see GuMiho pop out Thors when he realizes what's going on. But then he'll have to get into starports himself. Like, he is... wait, no, he hasn't added a second starport yet. But when he realizes what's going on, he'll probably add 2 starports and try to catch up. Like, it really becomes so much of Viking war at that point.
So the 4th base has been nabbed. It looks like over here at the bottom, GuMiho is going to try to take a 4th of his own, but Cure taking that a little bit more quickly.
Yeah, Cure still actually is behind on the Vikings, Tasteless.
Yeah.
He has the couple Ravens, though, which do change the math a fair amount.
Yeah. I mean, Armor Shred could change the dynamic of this very quickly here. A lot of this is probably going to come down to engages. Kind of an epic game here as we go into Game 5. Nobody interested in getting too far into the other side's, their opponent's side of the map. A lot of caution here.
The sensor towers are really well placed, kind of hard to get around, and in fact there's even like a floating building for GuMiho in the blind spot of the sensor tower.
Yeah.
So like I could see Cure later on trying to do something there and then be like, oh, it's like a barracks, oops.
1-1 for vehicles is now done. Meanwhile, advanced ballistics here for Cure is just now upgraded.
Yeah, he doesn't have the right Viking count yet. 8 versus 12, but you have 2 Ravens. I think still just slightly GuMiho should be able to hold on to the skies. Don't forget he does have 3 Cyclones, so lock-ons there are going to do ridiculous damage. Additional base going up. Cure right on the edge of the sensor tower. GuMiho going to run up and see that. He sees the Liberators there. Brings up his own Vikings.
He's going to start to try to inch in here. We should see Cure plug in 1 more command center at 12 o'clock to keep the balance okay. Now again, the siege tank count here is vastly different, but you know the thing about mech is it's not as fluid. It's hard to get in and out of where you need to be. But again, when it comes to the siege tank shelling, an overextension from the infantry player, and it's very, very, very punished.
Okay. My God, just every upgrade going down right now. Now, let's see here. Cure just continuing to expand. GuMiho as well. Lots of Vikings, just both sides going so heavy on air. I love the mass command center that Cure is doing. Like when you get into a position like this, like you're maxing out this type of game, It makes a lot of sense to just make Mass Command Center because you need the scans.
Yeah.
And of course, when you can utilize mules a little bit more, you can lower your SCV count, which ups your supply of those stupid flying units that you're racing your opponent with.
Here we go. He's going to try to come in again.
A couple Thors coming out, by the way.
With the light denial over there of that 3 o'clock base, here's a little bit more comfortable.
And there's those Thors value right there.
Yeah.
Armored strikes the Thors. I don't think they care.
Infantry level 2 attack and armor are finishing up.
Now, Cure finally does have the Viking advantage, 24-20.
Here we go. But an
Couple
armor
Cyclone
shred.
locks
Oh,
on.
they both armor shred each other.
The Thors here can, I mean, just add so much to a Viking battle if they get any shots off. Huge amount of damage. This is crazy.
You know, this is less of a push and more of a base deny.
Yeah, that's true.
You
I don't think he'll try to move forward. I think you're definitely right about that.
Yeah, you could draw a line diagonally from the bottom left all the way up to the top right.
Yeah.
For who's going to get what side of the map. And the only ambiguous expansion is the bottom left one here.
That's a really good point, and I like what you're saying. Like, I think that is probably the thought process here.
Yeah.
Ooh, he's getting the Liberators now. Where it's like, yeah, let's just slow this down for a little bit. Because Kier's taking, like, every base on his side. He's literally got command centers at every single base.
He may even wrap around and take the upper right base, too. Because the problem for GuMiho is he doesn't have a lot of mobility.
Yeah.
Just, you need a pair of eyes over there in the bottom left. But, I mean, we're getting, like, a super epic TVT here.
Ooh, that fight didn't go well for GuMiho at the beginning. The Marines got a lot of damage onto his Vikings. But GuMiho does have the Viking advantage once again. So that is incredibly important. GuMiho takes over this area once again. Marines adding a lot in here, but as a tank siege, they do have to run back.
Okay, the Vikings continue to drive this back.
Crazy game right now.
How much can Kier recover? I'm starting to see GuMiho come in here.
Dude, the air armies are getting so ludicrous. Look at this. It's like 8 tanks versus 1 tank, but it's like all flying units almost.
Yeah.
GuMiho is really pushing him back right now, man. Really pushing him back.
Did GuMiho go all the way? He has not taken an additional base, but at the same time, Kier is under threat of losing his. Oh my God, one-shotting the Liberators. A terrible rally here from Kier.
Oh no,
Dude.
GuMiho. This
And by the
push
way,
is
this
insane.
cannot really lift off here with this many Vikings. A small counterattack is sent out across the map.
Oh, look
He's
at
just
this.
overproduction.
Yeah,
Oh
anything
my
that pops
God.
out is in a lot of trouble there. The Marines come by to try to help out. Oh, they fly over Stim Marines, and now Kier is going to be able to take air control. Oh, that was a huge mistake from GuMiho. A huge mistake. GuMiho did kill a base during this, so that's nice, but I don't think that's the end of the world for Kier. Kier does have other bases, just not really SCVs at them right now. Oh my
lay
God.
on these Vikings. Well, this could be dicey here by Kier. I mean, you had won the air fight.
Yeah.
Be careful what you're actually fighting on the ground here, man.
Yeah. You gotta retain the Vikings. They're actually really important.
If he can go back up to 12, I mean, he'll basically keep him on 3 bases. I mean, all of the northern position here for Kier is like barely held together.
Dude, I wish for GuMiho's sake he would take another base right now. Like he's doing well in a lot of ways, but he's been on 4 base for a really long time. He's gonna run out of minerals. Like, he has got to think about taking another spot.
Well, I mean, Kier worked very hard to kind of earn this position towards the upper right of his side of the map, and it's kind of fallen apart.
Okay, Liberators coming over.
Oh, these Thors, if they can get the shot, the Vikings are so clubbed.
Oh my God, the Thors though are going to town right now, Tasus.
Oh my God, both sides overextending here. I think Kier's almost dead. By the way, we never really have people down 0-2 and then the other player in the best of 5 comes back 3-0. That's crazy.
It's pretty rare. It's pretty rare. GuMiho, it's not over yet.
No,
Kier still has a shot, I think, but it's getting pretty bad. Now this, like, the Marauders are going to start doing a lot of damage here. He actually has a mine. That's hilarious. But look, the Marauders, I mean, they kind of did damage here, but
there's actually the Vikings, man, that are going to win this fight.
Yeah, there's actually tanks still there as well. I didn't notice there's a tank in there.
I think you're right. I think there's a tank literally underneath the Liberators.
There's a tank in with the Thors. He's hard to see.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant on the other side. Excuse me. I'm like, yeah, I guess I didn't see that under the Liberators, and they move, and there's nothing there. You know, he's going to get that command center, and that means it's going to be freebies up north. He's broken that position. He can just run down here. A scan confirms that he actually is as behind as he had feared.
Dude, this is crazy right now. Scans going off everywhere. Double scan.
Dude, and the
is that GuMiho clowning? Is that GuMiho saying I win? I can't even believe what I'm seeing, Tasteless. Cure coming out with another push. GuMiho is maxed out right now.
Yeah. And, I mean, this is a 3-base Cure. But keep in mind, his main and his natural are mined out. So he's basically mining off of 1 base compared to the...
But Kira has lost all his bases, man. This is Thorman versus Poor Man. And I think Thorman is going to take it.
All right, I can't believe my eyes, dude. What a comeback. Cure is totally crushed right now.
Dude,
he was so
with the double fist pump. Oh my God, I can't believe it. GG.
Wow.
After that 2-0 start, I thought for sure Kier would take it. But GuMiho fights back like a boss. And he will go against DRG for the last spot in the round of 4.
That is just insane. My God, man. I love that series.
That was amazing. That was amazing. So well done from GuMiho.
Big cheers in the audience.
He has got to be feeling like $1 million right now. You saw the double fist pump. Obviously, Kira here, not too happy about that. He's played a really strong season, but that's a disappointing finish for him this year.
I mean, what a strange series of events. He kind of turned it around the last second and came out on top, and here we are.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to be going... Oh, no, we're not going to interview. We're going to go do the interview after the next Best of 5. Guys, GuMiho versus DRG coming up next. We'll be right back.